Hello friends, we're back here tonight with another stream. Got a little bit more stuff to do on beta. I spent a couple of hours yesterday working on routes for all these dungeons, and today Blizzard decided to change the count required in like half of them and the count of a bunch of mobs in those same dungeons, so had to work on some tweaking of those routes. But I'm hoping to use them to make video guides for the dungeons and provide them as a resource for everybody. But enough about boring stuff, let's get right into the game. Hey everybody. We're going to be doing some more stuff on beta tonight. I'd like to get a few more key runs, try and get some clean runs in a couple of these that we've been having trouble with. I definitely feel a lot better about all the dungeons, having run through them several times now. And honestly, I'm pretty excited for the new dungeons and the new season of Mythic Plus and Raid and everything. Haven't really started looking into the raid bosses yet, which I will need to do before too long. Kind of important for the raid leader to have an idea of what's going on. Maybe just a little bit. But we're gonna start with some keys tonight. See how they go. Hope everyone is having a good start to your Warcraft week. We had a surprise vault this morning. The speculation was that there wasn't going to be more vaults, and my warrior had one. So I just grabbed sockets for the speed rings that I have. Be a little tiny little boost while we're leveling. Now, we're not going to spend like 2 hours in City of Threads like we did last night trying to get a good run together, but I do want to start here now that I have a much better idea of how the dungeon goes. And see if we can get a good run on the record here. Welcome, 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 everybody. Yeah, if everything went perfectly tonight, we would get a clean City of Thread runs, and then probably a clean Mists run. And then it would be nice to run Necrotic Wake and Siege of Paralysis, because those were two that got some like really big changes to the count, both the required count and the number that each mob gives. So I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. I did adjust my routes already in my MDT, but of course I did that on the live server so that I don't have to like remember to import it, and I don't have them on the beta yet. But yeah, I hope all you guys out there are having a good Tuesday so far. Kind of hoping we can see some experience in the key here before we start sending out invites. This druid's name is Battle Cow. Nice. How could I not invite Girthquake? Resto Shaman's a really good healer too, so. It's hard to believe how close the expansion is now. Just got really one more full day before we can dive in Thursday afternoon. I've seen this guy a few times, and I played with him a couple of times. We'll give him a shot. Ellie Shaman's a good choice. Need to make sure we get a battle res. Hope everybody's getting excited for War Within launch. I know I am. It's always exciting to get to play new content. There's nothing quite like a WoW expansion launch in gaming. This music is very, very sleepy. I generally like a little bit more like groovy tunes, but this is not doing it. We'll go over to this playlist. Yeah, you gotta love the first few weeks of a new expansion. Everybody's kind of on the same level again. Just wild things are happening out in the world. Get to actually focus on the world content for a little bit. Monk would be good, but then we won't have a B-res. I've heard you can just craft and buy like jumper cables. You don't even have to make bracers anymore. But I have not done that yet on the beta, so I think it's just better in general to have a class that can do it. Welcome everyone who's stopping by and hanging out. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for choosing to make my stream a part of your night or morning or afternoon, wherever you may be on this world that we call home. This is probably... Alright, we'll grab this DK. Get our B-res. This will probably be the last night that we're doing beta stuff. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream tomorrow, and if I do, it'll probably just be like doing some final farewells to Dragonflight. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I definitely want to get an earlier bedtime tomorrow so that I can be ready for launch. Love that shaman buff. I did see they also hotfixed some of the overwhelming damage abilities that some of the bosses in Keys are doing. Specifically in Arakara, Avinox had Gossamer Onslaught nerfed quite a bit, which is really, really good because this ability was absolutely brutal, and some of the overlaps it had were group wiping. And then in the Dawnbreaker, Anub Ikaj had Shadow Decay nerfed, which was really, really nice because this ability was also overwhelming. So happy to see that. I think the other one in Grim Batol, they added a checkpoint at General Umbris. Surprisingly hard to say, which is really nice because it's a very long run back if you like have someone die in the second room here before you've killed Forge Master Fungus. As they start at the entrance to the dungeon, you can see the like respawn location right there. And you have to run like through these rooms and then like all the way around and then across the bridge and around. It's like several minutes to get back, even just in the second boss area. So they added a checkpoint here. It was a very, very, very good change. I wish they would do more checkpoints after bosses and dungeons. Okay, we got our ready check going. We got the key inserted. Just waiting on Mr. Mage. Alright, here we go. Alright, City of Threads. Let's get a clean run in here. Don't think we have an engineer, so we're probably not going to double pull at the start here. But I want to do this pack for count. Alright. Popping less on the single pack here is, I guess, is whatever. We'll have it for this guy too, for most of them anyway. Not exactly optimal. I would have loved it for the first boss, but we'll take what we can get. These Altath epics we have tonight is Oblivion, which spawns an ad eventually. That we just have to kill. I think it does like a damage reduction on enemies around while it's still alive. Alright, we're gonna mount up. Skip that pack because that pack's nasty. We kind of have to do this pack. So you can see there's an emissary in this group here. Interesting thing, the way they designed the emissary, it has like 1 health and then it just has a big absorb shield. So if you have classes with execute, you can get a ton of damage value while that thing is up. Is it going smooth so far here? These swarm guards are a little bit gnarly. They have that big frontal that you just saw. And they also have it's like a swarm ability that just does a lot of damage. these heralds of Ansurek. You really want to interrupt that. I'll call it out when it happens. You can twist thoughts. Really want to be kicking that. Alright, I'm going to pull the second pack of scarabs now that the first pack is dead there. Make sure we get some threat on him. Yeah, that twist thoughts does big damage to someone and then it leaves an AoE on the ground. The other mechanic they do is this Shadows of Doubt you can see on the mage over here. And that will send out 5 orbs either when it finishes or gets dispelled. And those orbs stun you if you get hit, so you don't want to get hit by those. Okay, we survived that pack. And now we're at the first boss. Lost our healer twice there, unfortunately. That's a really nasty pack, but you kind of have to do it to have room to do this boss, because if you body pull that during the boss fight, it's like 100% going to wipe you. You should be able to make it back pretty soon here. Yeah, there he comes. Ask if he wants mana. Now this boss will keep everyone close to it. Basically on pull, everyone gets gripped in. And then you have to stay inside this like little circle. There's also a pretty big area denial that will go out eventually. She's going to cast... it's this vociferous indoctrination. So she does the same like orb dot ability thing that was on people earlier. Okay, we gotta get... I don't know if we have a Viros. And basically as soon as this is done, there's going to be a big AoE circle that spawns, and we need to move so that people don't stand in it because it will kill you very, very fast. Looks like we're wiping here though.
Shockwave.
Yeah, I don't think you can actually reset this boss.
Shockwave.
Trying, but unless he's saying reset the dungeon. Yeah, so this fight can be a little bit tough if people are not ready for the bursty damage that goes out. Oh, this is unlucky timing. We're gonna have to wait for the path to go by. The scarabs are so slow. Make sure everybody gets over here.
Defensive. Shockwave. Shockwave. Defensive.
Move this way. The shaman's not in a good spot.
Defensive. Shockwave. Shockwave. Defensive.
Don't die, Mr. Mage. That was a good blink. That was a really good blink.
Defensive.
As you can see, you need quite a bit of room to do this boss. Probably you could just pull him like into the corner over there at the start.
Shockwave.
Almost got hit by that orb.
Defensive.
Yeah, we lost our healer again.
Watch your feet.
Yeah, we just stand in the bad here. People dying. This group's probably gonna fall apart. I will give this place one more crack, but I'm not gonna spend all night in here like we almost did last night.
Shockwave.
Okay. Those web bolts hit so hard. But like, you have to kick the silicon binding because it just stuns someone if you let it go off. Alright, here we go. Gotta try again. Yeah, I'm wondering if we want to like pull him all the way into the corner here.
Defensive.
Just to kind of maximize room. We have
Shockwave.
plenty of room because we cleared the trash, so should probably be fine.
Shockwave. Defensive.
Just ping the direction I'm moving in. Yeah, that you
Defensive.
can't be in that position right there.
Shockwave. Shockwave.
It's coming in 5.
Defensive. Defensive.
You have to move so far to get all the way out of that too. And you kind of need the space
Shockwave.
because of the frontal the boss does.
Shockwave. Defensive. Defensive. Shockwave.
The circles are just so big. We'll start moving back toward the bridge after this one.
Shockwave. Defensive.
This mage is, these guys are out of position.
Defensive.
Well, we can try to live here.
Shockwave.
Just don't get stunned.
Defensive. Defensive. Shockwave.
Alright. Not too bad. Hey Caesar, new player WoW and love to play with Thanks Specs. Thanks for the content, it's helping me a lot. Sorry for the English from Brazil. Dude, your English is great, don't worry about it. I've seen plenty of Americans with worse English than that. You're doing great with that. Thank you for hanging out. Glad my content's been helpful for you. I hope it continues to be so as we go into the expansion. What is your favorite tank spec right now? You said you're pretty new. Do you find any of them like particularly fun or challenging? Alright, so this part of the dungeon, we just gotta find all the spies here. Did I? Oh no, it's over this way. Inside the building. Got it. Started the druid, but I swapped to prot warrior. For me it's more fun because the druid only slaps. Yeah, I like druid. I think it's a great tank for beginners, but I definitely agree that prot warrior is more fun. I have so much fun on my warrior. Someone pinged. Oh, we got the emissary up, that's why. Cool, well glad to have you in the stream, Caesar. Like I said, I hope my content continues to be helpful for you. I'm trying to make stuff that's interesting and a little bit educational. Wait, here we go. This is definitely the chill part of the dungeon here. Thank you. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. Glad to have you here. Turn the music down just a touch here. Ooh, that Void Rush really hurts when it stacks up. Yeah, that is still a little bit of the weakness to warriors once you get big ticking damage that you can't block. Doesn't seem like there's a ton of that this season, but you get a mob that applies a stacking dot, and once if you lose a DPS or two and it takes too long to kill, it can be a dangerous spot. What is that? Tokbrathon Abyss? I'm not sure what that is on the map over there. Guys are going up. Spawned literally as far away as it possibly could. McLeod Alive, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. Hope you're having a good evening out there. Hope you're excited for the War Within. I know I am. Excited to get into these dungeons for real. It's been a lot of fun doing stuff on beta. Even if we've had some groups that have wiped a lot. I've been very much enjoying testing these keys, and get out of that. I'll enjoy playing them for real on my real characters with my friends. And now we have to go like all the way back around the building here to get onto the next boss. Good grief. This is like my one complaint. Well, this is one of the complaints about this dungeon, is how far you have to run around in the little minigame area here. I'm confused by this dungeon. It's... yeah. So you can see like these purple like figures around. So basically in this section you have to follow those, and there's 4 spies that are hidden around. You have to identify the spies and then kill them. They have progressively more like ads with them. It's a little bit of a doozy. I found Dawnbreaker more confusing at first, but I think once you run Dawnbreaker a couple of times you get a feel for like the city area.
Defensive.
This boss does a kind of brutal tank buster. The way you deal with it is just stacking up with everyone, so
Defensive.
ends up not being too terribly bad.
AOE incoming. Watch your step.
Oh, we almost jumped into another puddle there. So they're going to do this synergic step here. You just have to dodge the frontals. They do it 3 times. And then they do this, basically they swap weapons, I guess. The Rhyme Dagger is the tank buster, and that's what really hurts.
Defensive.
Let's see, it'll put a huge blue circle around me, and I have to stack with everybody basically to remove the stacks of it.
Defensive.
So we had shield wall, and we stacked up pretty quickly there. I'm just dead here. Whoa. That was health potion. Need to... I can't type. Need to stack that. Blue circle. Yeah, I mean, I can have a major defensive for each of those between Last Stand and Shield Wall. Because they don't do it after they swap weapons here. It's only like the next time they swap. But we'll definitely have to deal with 2 more of those, so...
AOE incoming. Watch your step.
No, we can't do this without our healer. Okay, we got a B-res on him. Oh, he's about... Yep. He was so close to getting hit by that. Alright, we're gonna have Last Stand for the first one here. I want to pull them away from these circles a little bit.
Defensive.
I'm gonna shield wall the first one. But I need people to absorb off of me or I'm gonna die through shield wall.
Defensive.
Next one we use Last Stand.
AOE incoming. Watch your step.
Yeah, I'm just dead. Ooh. Let me explain that to these guys. Make sure we don't make that mistake again. And the good thing is... Oh, no, we don't have the shortcut yet. You know what? I think we can... No, we can't go around that way. Boy. Having to wait for Pats is like the worst thing. How does something with so many legs walk so slowly? The ambiance in this dungeon is really cool, though. It's so big. It feels like you're actually in a city, which I like. Yeah, this one's rough. This one is pretty rough, McLeod. It was also pretty buggy earlier in the beta, so I think it's probably one the most people like don't know all the mechanics on. There's a lot of very unforgiving mechanics, which is kind of a theme in like dungeons these days. So I'm not too surprised, but if you miss just a couple of things, this gets out of control really fast.
Defensive.
I think they actually removed like 2 or 3 mechanics from this fight earlier in the beta cycle
AOE
too,
incoming. Watch
which
your step.
seems kind of wild to say. Okay, this is gonna be dangerous.
Defensive.
Yeah, when you get that thing off instantly, it's not that dangerous.
AOE incoming. Watch your step.
So when you take a few ticks of it, it gets very scary. I guess one thing to note is like doing this on a 10 means we have both fortified and tyrannical on it. So it's like, it's not just like the bosses or the trash is harder, right? Everything is harder.
Defensive.
Which is what we'll have to deal with if we want to do 10s in Season 1, so. I just look at it as good practice.
Defensive. AOE incoming. Watch your step.
We're gonna have, you know what, I'm gonna try something a little different. I'm gonna go last stand during the first one, and then we'll have shield wall for the second one, which seems to be a little more dangerous.
Defensive. AOE incoming. Watch your step.
Okay, we lived that one a lot better. Gotta finish off this emissary though. I'll wait for the YouTube guides. I can't handle this no. Yeah, that's understandable. I want to make some of those YouTube guides, so I gotta put in the work to figure it out.
Defensive.
Oh, jeez. Alright. Definitely a complicated fight. Not too terribly bad. And now we do a lot of trash. I'm not going to double pull anything here because we're already over the timer, so it's not like we're rushing to the end or anything. These packs aren't too bad if you do them one at a time. I think though, like based on how the timer feels, if you're doing a challenging key level, some of these you're just going to have to double pull. Yeah, it's a lot of damage. This pack's not too bad. Like the knife throw, I don't know if that one missed. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I don't know what pulled that, but alright, now we have the little guy to get us back though. Cute little flyer bug. I wish they would just add a checkpoint at the boss instead of having these like little shenanigans. So at this point I think we do this pack that we were trying to do, and then these guys before the stairs, pack up on the stairs, and then there's like a lieutenant mob at the top. And pull these back so that doesn't happen again. I'm pretty sure you want to interrupt just like everything that these webmancers do. Kill the void emissary here. Yeah, this pack's not too bad. Most of the trash in this spot isn't too bad, especially if you're single pulling. Like this pack on the stairs is a little nastier because it's got two webmancers in it. I'm gonna kick this guy next time he casts something. That's the thing, is webmasters have a heal, so you gotta be sure that you kick that. Yeah, the blast should be kicked, but I don't think it does so much damage that it's gonna like one-shot anybody. Alright, and then we've got the... let's get the emissary here first. Just kill it real quick, build up some resource, get our little buff, and take it into this guy. It's cooldown, recovery, and haste. Pretty much everybody likes those. This guy is actually really nasty. This venomous spray that he's doing does a lot of group damage, and it has those swirlies that will almost one-shot you if you get hit. So healers, look out for this venom shell. But you actually have to kill it to open the door to get into the 3rd and 4th boss areas, so... He does give a pretty large amount of count, so... You do at least get rewarded for killing him. Actually, it was only like 2%. I thought it was more than that. Oh well. You can go right or left in here. I would highly recommend going right because there's less of these webs. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's more. But you don't want to run into these. I'm pretty sure they spawn ads. Oh yeah, these guys got ripped by an arcane orb. This is big danger. So these little marauder guys, or not, the unnaturalers, that's what they're called. They have a knockback that they cast. You need to interrupt it. It's the Void Wave here. It does a moderate amount of damage, but it knocks everybody back. And if you get knocked into these webs, then you spawn more adds. I'm pretty sure the neophytes, like the adds that spawn here, give no count at all. So, don't want to be fighting a lot of those if you can avoid it. Okay, not too bad. Alright, we fight the third boss in this room. Gotta kill all these droplets first. These droplets don't really do too much. Just kind of AoE him down. Get a little bit of a break in the damage. Although if they aggro on other people, they can do some damage to... It's like regular DPS. But they don't have any special abilities or anything. And then we'll want to come back up, we'll wait for our mage. Need to intercept the orbs. And there's tons of stuff. Dodge on the ground. Yeah, this boss will periodically summon orbs from the outside of the room. And if they touch the boss, they heal him for like... I don't remember what the exact percentage is, but it was like 30 million health total. Orbs can be kind of tricky to see because they're like black and purple, but they have a little bit of red on them. The extra caveat is they put a healing absorb on you when you intercept them. So if you have one person take them all, then like you're actually in quite a bit of danger. And where you intercept them, they drop this pile of gunk on the ground.
Watch your step.
That does a considerable amount of damage if you stand in it. Mechanically, this boss is not too, and then this just does like a lot of pulsing damage, but mechanically this boss is not too hard compared to some other bosses. It's just the numbers he puts out are a little on the impressive side. And then obviously like you can accidentally heal him up for a significant amount of his health, which you don't really want to do when you're fighting a boss. I killed this boss last night, and we let on the kill attempt we let a lot of them get through actually, which is certainly not ideal. Yeah, we let one get through there. Oh, this is bad. Some of the goop, yeah, there we go. The goop does disappear after like a couple of minutes, I think, so this boss looks like the blob. He totally does.
AOE incoming. Defensive. Help soak. Help soak. Watch your step.
Yeah, I can't really heal myself up here. Kill the boss though. Let's go. Easy one shot. I would recommend going back up the staircase you came down here. So close. Yeah. Yeah, I was running out of steam at the end there. No, I don't think we're actually going to get enough count from the rest of the stuff on the swing, so we'll have to do more trash. Although there is 2 ads that give a huge amount in the last boss room, so we might have just enough. Hey, how's it going, Kama? Hope you're doing well. Let's doing some more dungeons tonight over here. Had a pretty good experience in City of Thread so far. Obviously we're over the timer, but this group has stuck together and persevered. Nobody's rage quit on us, which happened for a while last night. We actually managed to one-shot the 3rd boss, so small miracle there. Yeah, indeed. I think I managed to get a group where like everybody in it is learning the dungeon, which is a good thing, I think, for what we're trying to do. If you get a group where you've got like 2 or 3 people who just want to like get a fast full clear in, and then you have a couple people who want to like actually learn the mechanics and everything and may need to wipe a couple of times, well, you know, that could lead to some frustration. I'm gonna be a little bit short, I think. I think each of these give like 4 to 5%, something like that. Ooh, you can reflect the route that this boss does, or the mini boss does, which means I can probably reflect the route that the boss does too. That is good to know. Seems like some players act like this is live and the score they get matters or something. Yeah, exactly. Yes, these give, or that one give 5%. So we'll have to go out and kill a couple of things after we finish off the last boss here, but won't be too bad. This thing just does a ton of AoE damage. Taking notes about that reflect. Yeah, there's so many good reflects in the dungeon this season. The route there, I was a little surprised that it worked. I don't know if it actually reflected any damage, but I guess we'll find that out on the boss, because that's also one of the boss mechanics here. We're at 99%. Needed one more mob somewhere. Alright. Let's let our healer get his mana up.
Watch your.
So I think I want to be a little bit away from those.
AOE incoming.
Maybe not. I used Reflect at the wrong time, I think. Used it too early. Jeez. I don't know how our mage got one shot there, but yeah, you need to break the
AOE incoming.
roots here because you'll start tossing the orbs at people.
Run out.
Unfortunately, you cannot reset this boss. So we'll just jump into the AoE and die. Yeah, this fight has a lot going on. So Splice is just big heal check. Tremor Slam, pretty obvious. I don't know what Gorge does. Oh, okay, the Scarabs just need to be kind of like a soft enrage. Weave and Process of Elimination is like the hard part. We'll just go one thing after the boss. Okay, I think we need to stay relatively close to break roots. And then we just gotta kill the ads immediately. Here we go.
Watch orb. AOE incoming.
I used Reflect too early again, use it on the wrong mechanic.
Run out.
Unless it reflects the damage from Splice, which would actually be pretty good. Pretty sick. Alright, we need to stay close here.
AOE incoming. Stack. Defensive.
Okay, that wasn't too bad. Just ping where we should move to.
AOE incoming.
Let's see. I did not have Reflect back up at that point, so. Let's see, does this work on the boss? It does! That is sick. Warriors of all kinds, rejoice.
AOE incoming. Run out.
No, we lost our healer. He's able to pop up, so that's good. We lost our LA Shaman.
Defensive. Watch orb.
Okay, we got everybody up.
AOE incoming. Stack.
I don't know if we actually... Okay. Our mage died there.
Incoming. Run out.
Oh no. I'm kind of rotting down here. This is a good pull though. Good pull.
Defensive. Watch orb.
I'm gonna do what I can to survive as long as I can here.
AOE incoming. Run out.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. We got this. We so got this. Third time's a charm. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, what's up, Ez? Yeah, this is the last of the Season 1 keys that I've been learning, so we put in a lot of sweat and wipes the last couple of days. But I feel really, really good about it now. At least as far as like knowing what to do. You getting hyped for War Within? Should I call you Hez or should I call you Junkmaster? I have to say, I have to give you guys like insane props for pulling that off.
AOE incoming.
I'm pretty sure some people still don't know, but
Run
that
out.
was a masterclass in trolling. It was so much fun. Yeah, I imagine.
AOE incoming. Stack.
Every time Justin started talking to Skelly. I can only imagine how hard it was to stay quiet about that.
Watch orb. AOE incoming.
I don't think we can reflect the damage from
Stack.
Splice, unfortunately. Ooh, that's cool. You can also use Avatar to break the root immediately. That is good to know, too. Sometimes I forget. Like, I just send Avatar on cooldown every time because it's such a strong ability. I forget that it also breaks roots.
Run out. Defensive. Watch orb. AOE incoming. Stack.
We have 2 Discords open, talking another Discord rating.
AOE
Nice.
incoming. Run out. Defensive. Watch orb. AOE incoming. Stat.
McLeod, thank you for the prime. Really appreciate that. One more mob. We gotta actually finish this off, you know? Thank you so much for the prime. Let's go. How am I liking Warrior Tanking? I am loving it. I'm having so much fun with Pro Warrior. I've always liked it, but I don't know if you played like BFA Pro Warrior, which is like one of my favorite tanks of all time. It feels so much like that. I enjoy Warrior a lot lately, so that's on the level. Nice. Fury is absolutely pumping too on beta right now. I do some keys with I don't know if you remember Sai. He was on his Fury Warrior last night on beta, and like he was ripping aggro and pull. Like Arms a lot. I haven't seen too many Arms Warriors, but Arms is usually good also. Alright. Let's see. Okay. That was a good enough City of Threads run. I'm kind of curious to see how the first boss on Arakar is after the nerfs, so maybe we'll go try that. Maybe we'll also run through the new dungeons once each tonight. And then see what time it is after we finish that up. Arakar is such a good name. Yeah, it's a pretty cool dungeon too. The first boss was overtuned, but it got nerfed to a point where I think it's going to be a lot more doable. Basically, let's see. So it's got a lot of abilities, but this ability, Gossamer Onslaught, was just doing like unethical amounts of damage to the group. And it got nerfed by like, so it did like 1 tick per second over 4 seconds, and they nerfed the tick damage by 33%, but then added 1 tick to the end of it. So, pretty significant nerf. Why not? Let's get this Fury Warrior in here. Left Ghost, nice. There's been so many bots on Twitch lately. Thankfully, I have a counter bot whose sole purpose is to ban bots that spam links in chat. Ooh, this is a big druid. Let's go. Arakara, City of Echoes. Get it ready, Chuck. This warrior's got a very, shall we say, minimalist transmog. Now we're going to do a huge pull to start this one off. They showed the how will be the cap of item level. There's a bunch of charts that I've seen online. The highest you'll be able to get is like 639, which would be like fully upgraded mythic gear. Get a flask going here. I'm getting slowed now. Oh, I've aggro on like nothing. Oh, we got aggro on everything now. That was a fun pull. That was such a fun pull. I love that. There's not that many places where you can, like, effectively pull big. That's definitely one of them, though. This may have been a little aggressive. There's only one caster, though. A lot of this is just kind of like basic melee mobs. All three of our DPS almost doing 2 million damage. Love to see that. Okay, don't get hit by those though. As if you're still there, do you know if Relly's gonna come back for War Within? I'd asked him about it a couple months ago and he said probably, but I haven't heard anything from him since. Talked a lot, a little. He hasn't really said much. Well, if you do talk to him again, tell me to be more than welcome. Love to play with him again. Europe and Sweden are going to play in launch. Might grind to 80 same day. Nice. Are you guys doing early access? Might be talking with Zoom. Cool. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I'll be doing early access too. There's ad running around wild here that I wasn't noticing. We died. Yeah, I was gonna say, no, I'm not in Discord right now. Just hanging out with chat. Yeah, he's watching on Twitch. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this. No need to waste any more time. It's really annoying that the webs don't go away on this guy. Thankfully he has a decently big hitbox. Okay, there, they went away eventually. But like, they should go away if he resets. Alexis costs a lot here, I'll wait for the normal launch. Right on. Yeah, I don't think you're really missing anything. Like, nothing important is going to be unlocked during the early access. It's just time to level your characters a little bit. First eggs are over here. So yeah, if anyone hasn't seen this boss before, there's a few things that go on. Not a hardcore player, I can wait. Yeah, right on. These eggs that dropped, those are part of the boss fight. Basically, he'll summon ads from those. The ads will fixate on players, but if they get to the boss gets a stacking damage buff.
Defensive.
Of like 50% for each ad that he munches. So you absolutely have to kill them before he gets there. He does this alerting shrill, that's what brings the ads out of the eggs over there. This voracious bite that he does is a tank buster, but it's blockable, so, you know, GG Pro Warrior. And then his Gossamer Onslaught that he's about to do does huge AoE damage. It did get nerfed today, so I'm interested to see, like, how that affects it. And then it also will drop all these swirlies on the ground, and webs will spawn on these swirlies. So there's a pretty big area denial.
Defensive.
It also drops the next set of eggs. So as the tank, you need to pull the boss away from those so that the DPS has time to kill them when they spawn. It looked like that Onslaught wasn't too bad.
Defensive.
I know that was like wiping groups if you had a healer who wasn't pretty elite. I gotta kind of solo this emissary. That is way more reasonable damage. You're only really in danger if you get hit by the swirlies.
Defensive.
Okay, we gotta come back this way. Any more ads spawning?
Defensive.
Oh, jeez.
Defensive.
I don't really have a good spot to stand. I guess right under the boss here. This is really unfortunate. Okay, I'm gonna leap over here. Our healer got, if you stand in the web too, you get rooted for 10 seconds. The good thing is the ads don't move too quickly. But, we're in a bit of trouble with this set.
Defensive.
No, okay, he ate 3 of them. That's really bad. Because now, yeah, now we're just getting one shot. Yeah, were these guys? I think they were. Yeah, so that is what happens if you let the ads get to the boss. Bad times happen. Some unfortunate positioning with the Gossamer Reverse there. Oh, and the Druid left. Alright, we'll go somewhere else after kill this emissary. Unless these guys all want to stay and just pick up someone else. Looks like the healer might, so maybe we just run this back. Okay, cool. I'll get you in here, Sai. Let's reset. Healer is saying get an Affliction Warlock because they can solo the ads, which sounds pretty sick. You're not wrong about that, as in game is gated for 4 weeks. No reason to pay extra, start playing early because of that. Yeah, I don't think early access should be the reason that you buy the Epic Edition. It does come with 30 days of game time, which is a nice bonus. I like all the cosmetic perks and stuff too. DPS people problems. We'll try to get a warlock for the spot here. That's a big mage though. Well, we're waiting for last DPS spot here. Thank you everyone who's hanging out tonight, stopping by. Get the mage. I'm thinking about it. I want to see if a warlock applies. I like healthstones too. Healthstones are really good. I think the only wrong answer for a ranged right now would be an Auguboker, because they're not going to be able to do anything to those ads. Yeah, we'll grab this mage. If they accept. There we go. Let me make sure the dungeon's reset. Looks like there's people back inside it already, so no need. Most expansion costs 300. It's a lot for us here. That is a lot. Managed to mute my mic before I sneezed that time. Yeah, I think even if you're hardcore at WoW, like the early access is more about the experience than getting ahead. You're definitely not going to be behind. Hey, Louima. Do I use an MMO mouse? I do. I use an MMO mouse. Let's see if I can get it on camera here for you guys. It's I use the Logitech version. This is like the third one of these I've had. The first one I got back in Warlords, and it lasted me like 7 or 8 years, I think. And one of my kids got to it and like pulled one of the buttons back, and it kind of stopped working consistently at that point. And I have 2 of them right now. I have one that I use for my work computer, and then one that I use for my gaming PC. So I really like it. Use the same one. Nice. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Logitech's not really the big gaming equipment name, but I've had really good experiences with their mice, especially the MMO version. All right.
5, 4,
We'll try that huge pull again
2,
right at the start. Oh, okay. Can't start the key when someone's in combat. There goes our pre-pot. Okay, I'm just gonna aggro this stuff. Okay, I was gonna just run through to aggro, so. Watch out, watch threat there, guys. Watch threat, everybody. Oh, don't let the fear go off. This did not go as well. Didn't go so well this time. Alright, we're gonna reset. Try again. Use the Logitech gaming mouse too. So much better than Razor's. Yeah, I haven't tried any other MMO mouses. Made it back in. Nope, we didn't. Fake out loading screen. Alright, let's reset. Laser crapped out on me with 2 razors before I switched to Logitech. Yeah, I mean, I would probably still be using my original one if it hadn't been an early demise thanks to a curious child. I mean, I can't fault him though. I was that kid, so you know. Alright, here we go again. Oh, mage, please invis. Please invis.
2, 1.
Don't make us waste another pre-pot. Well, gotta be really careful not to run off here. Okay, you know we're going all the way over here. Why are you going ham before I even have the pole rounded out? Yeah. No patience. And he leaves, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go to a different dungeon. I feel like I know this one, and it didn't actually get any count changes today. Healer's offline too. So I think I want to do Dawnbreaker, because that did get some count changes. Oh, that was also on a 9. Oops. Yeah, we'll go to Dawnbreaker. So I want to see like how much extra you actually have to pull in there. Kind of verify that MDT was updated correctly. Ah, look who it is. Not inviting him. I don't like that big pull at the start of that dungeon, honestly. Like, it's really fun if you pull it off. But it's like, it's so risky and people are so impatient. Pug DPS. Ooh, let's get a... I love a good Pres Evoker here. Like, that guy was going ham every time while I was still trying to run up the pole. The warrior mage, the other warrior pulled aggro. He had like 3 things on him before I even made it to the mini boss. It's like my threat on the pull there is like I can thunderclap every 4 seconds on the way in. I hit revenge a couple of times, even though that's a little bit reckless when you need a lot of rage for ignore pain. It's like if you wanna do a really big pull, you gotta wait until it's all together for threat. Threat's not a huge mechanic in retail, but if you're trying to do crazy stuff like that, it sure is. Or if you play a Fury Warrior, it is. Yeah, Fury has insane burst. Ooh. Oh, we lost the healer. No. We get this hunter though. Full attack power stack. Hey, it's Dorky. It's not so hard to wait for the tank. It shouldn't be. Unemployed, the Resto Shaman. Honestly, I respect that name. Let's go. To the Dawnbreaker. This is a dungeon that has really, really grown on me. I think once I like actually figured out where you go and like what you have to do, it's actually a pretty fun one. I can see it being rough if you get motion sickness or don't like skywriting. But I think it's pretty sweet.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright, let's go save this ship. Well, our healer died too. Or he's not kicking the shadow mages. Oh. This might have been too much for this group. That was an interesting charge route. Not the smoothest start here. We still turn around. Healer left. I don't actually know how you leave this dungeon if the healer leaves. Can we fly back down to the entrance? Doesn't look like it. Nope. We scienced it. Because he's got a hearth out. Interesting to know. Good to know. Yeah, there's players still inside. Alright, we'll give that another shot. It's one of those days. Yeah. Beta's been hit or miss. Like, there's been a lot of keys where, like, you have a couple people that don't know what's going on or just have, like, crazy expectations, or it's all good. Just gotta look at it as a learning opportunity. By the time we're doing 10s on live, it'll be easier to get a consistent group, I think. And we're picking some of the harder dungeons to run tonight too, so that definitely has something to do with it. This is the same hunter for the last one. I think we'll try someone else. Rotate a little bit. This is the druid we had in the Arakara. I'll give him another shot. Unless they, like, see me and instantly leave. I was waiting for our group to get inside here. Yeah, I'm just looking at beta keys as like a chance to learn the dungeons, and sometimes the best learning method is like wiping terribly to something. It's better to limit test when you can like just rebuild your key immediately, you know? Let's see. Wonder if there are any more changes pushed after last time I checked. Oh, we're just waiting on our mage here. These zones are so cool. I can't wait to level through all these and see the story and get to know them a little better. You get like little glimpses of them from some of the dungeons, but like the theme and setting in War Within is going to be really, really sick. Get our buffs out.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is much smoother than the last run. Maybe I spoke too early. Maybe we don't try to double pull on the boat here. I've had mixed results doing that. Taking tons of damage just from one pack here. Whew. Yeah, that was a rough pull. Props to the healer. Couldn't make it through that. Surprising no more graphic way of showing your pain value. So I actually have it displayed in two places. So there's the bar at the bottom, which shows like the kind of visualizes the duration. The orange bar shows like your total value and the duration, and then this icon under avatar here has a percent on it that shows you what percent of the maximum amount you're at. So kind of looking at those two, which I think I find it helpful to have like those two be a little bit distinct, because it would be a lot of information to display on like one weak aura. I feel like I'm just not getting healed. Like, I don't know. I've never had problems with this pack before. Then I try my magnifying glass. I see that. Yeah, it's very small. Well, my heart's on CD, so I think unless there's a way to port back, maybe Eternal Steel Strike. Yes, you can leave the instance. Yeah, I'm not really sure what was going on there. Felt like I was sitting very low for very long. I have no idea how, like, what kind of healing Preservation Evoker should be doing. They was healing me a bit, it looks like. Oh well, we can try a different instance. Did my shield break or something? Like, that pack hits hard, but I've never felt like I was melting like that before. Tell you what, let's head over to Necrotic Wake. Ease it up a little bit. We'll change the pace. This is one I do actually want to test tonight, because this got some pretty big changes to the trash required and like how much count each mob gives. Siege of Borealis had the most, but I don't know. I don't really feel like running Siege right now. The thing that's going to mess with me in Necrotic Wake is I have known since Shadowlands that you need to have 68% before you go upstairs. And I'm pretty sure that number is different now. I guess we just check it. Like, how much count do you actually get upstairs? Let's put it all on the same pole, even though you can't actually do that. Yeah, see, the full upstairs mobs now only gives 29.52. So you actually need 70.5%. That is a very important change. It is updated with today's changes. It was updated because I checked it like when they first announced the changes and it had not been updated, and then they released an update to the add-on, and it is updated now. I made sure to double check on like a bunch of the mobs to see what the actual count was. So in like one example, like this skeletal monstrosity used to give 12 forces, now it gives 20. Sorry, I know that's like tiny. I don't know if there's a... I guess I can right click on it. Yeah, it gives 20 now. So I know he got changed. The Marauders got changed to give more. The assistants that spawn got changed to give more. And then like the total that you need got increased by more than like all of those combined. Which is really annoying. And the other annoying thing is like a lot of these mobs were skipped most of the time. At least some of the time. Like I would usually pull the monstrosity, especially if you have a ranged group. Oh, let's get the Saga Boker. Definitely feel sturdier with an Og. So yeah, MDT is updated. This shaman sure has a name. This guy does too. So are you just switching tunes or are you done for the night? Okay, cool. Okay, so think, yeah, just reset route. So I think we do this pull to start with, and then we go, I think we need to pull these Patrick soldiers in. Just got to be careful to not get the gatekeeper. And then we do this with these soldiers if we can grab them. And then boss. And then I think Trying to remember what all I did. This guy. Oh, they nerfed the javelins too, which is quite unfortunate. They were doing quite silly amounts of damage though. Yeah, I think this gets us to a just about perfect spot. So we do like that. Just go around this room. Get the assistants and 1.5% over. But it's only like 5 count over, and there's not a single. I guess you could skip the blight bags at the start. That's kind of nice. Don't need to do those anymore. Yeah, if you drop these out of the first pull, that gets it really, really close. I know a lot of groups are pulling this pack, at least I think this pack into the first pull, but I don't know. That feels really, really dangerous for a pug. It's already annoying enough to get this corpse harvester up the stairs. I guess we just pull the soldiers down. Okay, I know what I'm doing here.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright. Is there a reason some evokers are hitting Lust before the dungeon starts? Like, do they get a buff from that or something?
Interrupt.
I'm really glad they reverted the drain harvest, or drain fluids change. So you can kick it before the channel starts now. That would have been like an absolutely terrible change.
Interrupt. 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 Interrupt.
No. A little late on leaping out there. I get some heals. Nope, I can't. He always says we could have done spicier pulls. I don't know. That felt pretty. Unless he was being sarcastic. I didn't blow one CD. Well, maybe you should have, my friend. All right. All right, take two here.
Five, four, three, two, one.
Here we go.
Interrupt. Interrupt.
Oh. Okay. There we go.
Interrupt.
Oh, well, I blew my kick on this guy. I think three of us kicked him at the same time.
Interrupt.
Come on. Get over here, Mr. Emissary. Or Miss Emissary, I guess I should say.
Interrupt.
Our mage got destroyed by that thing.
Interrupt.
It's really easy to let the soldiers get behind you when they're jumping around, and that might be one of the reasons I was getting hit so hard last time. Obviously, block is incredibly strong, but you cannot block mobs that are behind you.
Interrupt.
Okay. We got through it. Mana. Go, he says. Go we do.
Defensive. Shockwave. Defensive. 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 Defensive.
I taunted that thing, but not in time, I guess.
Defensive. Defensive. Defensive.
He clicked Nova instead of Blink on the maggot. We can still finish this fight with just the three of us.
Defensive.
Nah, he was leaving. Alright. This is just not the night for beta keys, I guess. Yeah, what are you gonna do about it? Well, we tried some stuff. People are just testing how quickly they can drop out of group. Yeah, that's the real practice you gotta do, right? How quickly can you right click and leave party? I think I'm honestly kind of done trying keys tonight. Hang out for a little bit longer on stream here, but probably just chill and maybe we could talk about routes. I have my routes I have my routes saved on retail, so we can go over there and kind of go through them. Maybe make some adjustments. Oh, that was beta again. Oops. Do we know how long the pre-patch event will be going? I would assume it will run until I would assume it will run through the early access and until the like regular release on Monday. I haven't seen confirmation of that, so if there's cosmetics you still want to get from it, probably a good idea to check. See if we can verify that. But it would be pretty crappy if they ended it when early release launches. I would imagine it'll end once the expansion goes live on Monday. And if it doesn't, then I think the latest it would probably go would be like the reset on Tuesday or something. Oh, I'm gonna have a very, very full mailbox right now of auctions that didn't sell. Wazard sending me speed files. I will use these. I already have 100 of those, but I will take them. He's our guild alchemist. And check this out, I've been building a speed set for leveling. I have 39% speed on my gear. Look at how fast I run. Also, I got the t-shirt enthusiast buff. I think I'm gonna unclick that though. Looks kind of silly. Sponsored by mods. Zoom zoom. Exactly. Yeah, I ended up getting speed on both trinkets, both rings, pants, and cloak. I crafted a chest last week and I put the agility plus speed enchant on it because I want to go faster when I'm leveling. I seriously considered going single-minded fury because you get another 5% movement speed from that. But I have the legendary, and like at the end of the day, there's no way I'm not leveling with a legendary. Must be too fun. But we are going to be zooming while we're out there. All right, let's take a look at some routes. I'm probably gonna make a video on this. This is a little bit of like rehearsing what I want to talk about. I'm definitely gonna make a video on this. Maybe I'll make a series of like talk about each one. Miss is kind of scuffed, right? Because you can't like choose the direction that you get to go in the maze. I actually I don't think the route that I chose is actually possible because I think these are the like, two of the first gates. So I think like for 8, it would actually be this one. But yeah, depending on like what you get in the maze, you will have to pull more or less at the end of the dungeon. So this is kind of what we were going to talk about. Necrotic Wake, I think this is what we came up with over on the beta one when I did it real quick. Oh yeah, except you can drop the first set of blight bags and be even closer to 100%. I did put some notes. I guess you probably don't want to lust this now. So maybe we'll delete that note. Yeah, I like to pull Stitch Flesh onto the platform, or Stitch Flesh, Blightbone onto the platform here, and then just kind of like kite him around the room as he drops his crap. I think even though Narzuda got its count buff, you still want to skip this, because this is an absolute pug destroyer. There's just like way too many kicks required on these mobs. Like this guy's got the bolts that need to be kicked, and then like these guys have the bolts as well. There's just way too much going on. And then these Marauders are really easy because they do the Bone Shatter Shield, and if you break it, which any group that's paying attention should be able to, they just die. This group we would do for the Spear, but I think now you just have to do it for count. Hey, how's it going, Ace Tier? We were doing keys on beta, and they were just not going well tonight, so we're just talking about routes for dungeons now. I think, unfortunately, you're going to have to pull almost everything except for, like, this Marauder pack that is always skipped in this part of the dungeon. You could, like... This is tough, because, like, this pack gives 18 count, which is hard to make up for elsewhere. You could pull this pack at the beginning, which gives, like... 22, and then skip like this, but then you'd be a little more overcount. You have to pull everything up here to trigger the boss, so there's definitely less choice in Necrotic Wake now, I think, especially because like you really want to dodge the gatekeepers and you really want to dodge this pull, which means you have to pull almost everything else in the dungeon just to meet count. But this may be tweaked a little bit, but this is kind of what I think I'll run. Didn't they buff the count of the early group of mobs everyone dodges? Yeah, they buffed the count of the gatekeepers. I still think there's like no shot you pull these, because they're very, very dangerous. These count changes seem like big dog. Yeah, I'm not really a fan. Like, the casts that these guys do are just outrageous. They buffed the count for the caster mini-boss. They did, yeah. I know, like, yeah, no pug is pulling this. I don't think any group is pulling this. There's way too much going on with it. Oh, I need to update this note because it's now 70.5 before going up. Yeah, I would skip this every time, even if you have to invis-bot it. You can technically run by these guys, but it's a little dicey. The best way is if you have a warlock that can put a gateway like on, there's like a little building here, they can put it like behind the building onto the bridge, and you just take that. But yeah, I don't think there's any shot you ever pull this in pugs. So this is the Necrotic Wake. We'll have a video talking through like every pull and everything in the coming days. Never had a warlock that wasn't a guildie that knows how to portal skip. I've seen a lot on the beta, but it can be tricky. Like getting your camera angle right to do it is tricky. Someone that can vanish, pull to the north while the group gets around. You can do that. The danger is like that pack does a lot of damage. So if you have a rogue like try to pull it and run to the side, there's a chance that the rogue just dies and then the pack runs back while everyone's running by. If you have a rogue though, I think you could just shroud it. I don't think this guy has true sight. I don't know where it would say that. So you can just shroud it if you need to. Yeah, Mage could pull it, like, pull it back in Invis. Hunter could pull it back in Feign. Those would be safer options. Where do these changes come out a day or so after all the interviews came out? I know, right? A little bit suspicious. Alright, Siege of Borealis. This was the one that was... This one really annoyed me. I ended up with a route that's exactly 100% count, but it's got some pretty scuffed pulls. So like you start the dungeon, we have the Alliance side version of it. This is kind of a standard first pull. It's not too dangerous, even though it has 2 of the bombers that are really annoying. But you just kind of have to fight a lot of the bombers with the alliance side route. And then this guy pats away from this pack as you're running up the stairs usually, but I pull him with this pack and it's not too bad. Ever since they removed the ability to kill mobs with the Azerite artillery, I hate Siege even more. I kind of feel the other way on that. Like, I thought having a mob do the dungeon for you was really cheesy, but I understand some people like it. This pack, I think you can still pretty efficiently double pull this. And then here's where it starts to get scuffed. I think when you come into this area, you're going to want to pull this guy with the corner pack to the right. You may want to pull these back because this pat is a problem. You're going to want to kill these and then kill these. You want to try to dodge the pat. I guess, okay, so this is 12, 14. You could skip the corner pack and just do the pat. But, I don't know, the pat is really annoying and not super efficient. Obviously, you have to clear this area to do the boss. I like to pull these back a little bit because I cannot tell you how many times I have seen, like, people run into this pack and then face pull the boss. And then it's almost a guaranteed wipe because the reset point for this boss is not in the room. It's like all the way back here. Like there's the little bridge that you run down. So I pull these back like to the stairs, but then you got to be careful because the Iron Tide Raider pulls you in. Which that happened to us the other day. I was thinking like, okay, we'll pull it like all the way back here, and then he just pulled us through the building, which I wasn't expecting. You gotta be careful with these guys, and then you have to pull more stuff in this section too. Instead of skipping this pack, I would just do it after like these guys. It's like this is the pat with the commander and the 2 powder shots. The powder shots are like actually really, really efficient now because they have only 10 million health on a +10 and they give you 4 count. So taking advantage of those is kind of big. And then you got to do this. You got to do this pack at the end of the hallway that tries to destroy you when running through. I think doing like all 6 of the curse blades along with this pack and then pulling one of the curse blades that are kind of staggered over here into this pack is the best way to get to 100%. It's funny watching people do siege keys on beta and no one knows how to kill the ogre boss at the mines. Yeah, that's been fun to see. You see people just try and kite him around and like he gets that speed buff forever. And then like from this point on, basically the only thing we're skipping is like the monkeys that are inside the like open area buildings over here, and then like this monkey pack to the left. You got to kind of pull everything else to get count. So that'll be the siege route. Stone Vault, this is over by a little bit, but I honestly don't know like what you skip in this place. I don't know what you even like can safely skip to do the dungeon all the way through. You do big pull at the start with Lust. You got to make sure that you kick the where is he? Which guy is it? The Void Soul. There's one Ghastly Void Soul. He has a fear. If that goes off, everybody dies probably. As long as you kick that, this pull's not too bad. And then I would not double pull these because they both have 2 Void Souls. And you're going to run out of kicks for the fears and like everything else going out. I did add a note for the first buff over here. think you could try to skip this pack over here. If you can successfully skip this, then that's the 11 count that we're over by. But I'm assuming this is going to get pulled most of the time by pugs anyway, so you need to be ready for it. Maybe I'll just put a note, like delete this pull and put a note that like this might need to be pulled to do the skip here. Because you definitely want to skip these two. The forge loaders are pretty painful. And good luck when you get to this boss. Yeah, this one's kind of self-explanatory, but I'll make a video talking about like all the different mobs and stuff. Dawnbreaker. I don't know if this is like the best count to do, but this is what I had found success doing. And then you did need to pull like one extra mob, I think, after the changes today. Guts of these routes. Yeah, I'm gonna make videos. I haven't decided how I'm gonna do it. I'm either gonna make a video with all the routes and then make boss guides for each dungeon, because I think doing a video with like all of the dungeons plus describing each boss is gonna be like way too long. Or I'll just make a video like one per dungeon where I talk about the route that I came up with and also talk about the bosses during the video. I'm probably leaning toward that because I'll be able to get them out a little bit more quickly. Yeah, Dawnbreaker, like the whole city section can be really confusing. Have they made any changes to the airship fights so the group abilities don't fail? I have not seen any changes published, and I had a really funky charge on one of the mobs on the ship today. So it was like during this pack, and I like charged at something, and my character like ran toward it and then ran backwards and then ran back toward it. So that makes me think they haven't fixed it yet. I don't know why this is pull 15. Why is that so far? Did they move these guys around again? That's weird. Maybe they did. That should be 9, and this guy should be 15. Glad I caught that. I really don't get where these issues are coming from. ICC had the gunship fight. I don't remember any of these issues. I don't really remember any on that, but I think the gunship fight in ICC, like that was a time where there were less of these kind of like complicated ground effects. Right, like Frozen Orb, Arcane Orb weren't things yet. You didn't have like Rescue, Heroic Leap wasn't a thing yet. I don't think we even had gateways yet in Wrath. Grim Batol, you can't really skip a lot in this dungeon. Also, some Blizzard been messing with how add-ons see dungeon count. They did, and then they reverted it on the beta, I think, in a hotfix. We were talking about that last night. So it may get reverted on live. I think it's so like you can actually see count here like in MDT, right? Like this Molten Giant is 10 count, or it says forces 10, 1.46%. But I think like the things like Angry Keystones or the Weak Aura that everyone uses, I think those still can't see count. Although I haven't updated the Weak Aura in a little bit, so maybe you can now. Yeah, I think my biggest complaint, well, I'm not going to say this is my biggest complaint. One complaint that I have about Grim Batol is that you really can't skip much. Like this is basically skipping one of the dragons, or I guess 2 of the dragons early, and then 2 of the packs in the middle room, and it's like 5 count over. I guess you could do both of these dragons and then skip more stuff in here, but that gets incredibly dangerous because you run out of room so fast on Forge Master. I can understand Bliss not wanting weak auras to auto-win fights, but planning add-ons like MDT seem fine. Yeah, totally agree. Mages are better than ever without mandatory curse dispel seems. It's definitely a perk to bring a mage. But shamans are also really, really good right now. And shaman and mage have kind of a lot of utility overlap, so... Could also be a point in Guardian Druid's favor. Arakara, we were messing around with like doing a huge pull all the way to the mini boss tonight, and it worked one time, and it was really fun, and the other times it was just an absolute disaster, so I don't think I would recommend that for pugs. These routes are kind of aimed at like people who are pugging or like learning the dungeons, so... I'm enjoying reading the screaming on the forums about the Arcane Internet nerf. Did you have Lust for the Arakara pull? Yeah, we used Lust on it. But like, getting aggro on everything on the way to the guy over here is kind of annoying. So I think I would default to just taking it slower unless it's a group that I'm familiar with and trust. You do have a decent amount of choice in what you pull in Arakara, which is pretty cool, I think. There's quite a bit of extra trash you can do. And the Gossamer, what's it called? Gossamer Onslaught buff, or nerf on Avenux felt really good, actually. It's much, much less dangerous, I think. And then City of Threads. So I included this pack, but I think I'm actually going to take it out and pull more stuff like over here. Because I feel like this pack is just super dangerous. Maybe it's not, though. It's just 2 Venom Blades and the Herald. It's just dangerous for the tank. Those Venom Blades hurt a lot. How am I doing with ads? You have to kite them. If he eats them, he gets a stacking 50% damage buff. And then just like the next AoE he does, just murders the entire group in one shot. It's abilities. Yeah. 50% for 1 minute per ad that she eats. Seen some people letting him eat them after AoE and just putting DRs on the tank. I mean, it's not just the tank though, because it increases all damage done. So the alerting shrill. So like, let's say you let it eat a whole pack. That's 200% more damage on alerting shrill and Gossamer Onslaught. Like, everybody's just dead at that point. If it's like the very end of the fight, maybe you could let it eat the last one, but you have to kill the ads. Alright, I think this is going to do it for me for stream tonight. I'm currently planning to not stream tomorrow. I'm going to get a nice early bedtime and make sure I've got plenty of energy for Thursday. But I will be back on Thursday at normal time. We'll be streaming our leveling and hanging out together as we adventure through the War Within. Thanks everyone who came by to hang out. Thanks for all the subs and the follows and everything tonight. And today, had a lot of follows off stream this morning, which is really cool to see. Thank you everybody, and we will be just continuing to try and put out good, helpful content and hang out together for some chill content on stream. See you, Ace here. Thanks for hanging out. All right, bye everybody.